Welcome to this edition of MWR Experts Live. Mike Randolph here, coming to you directly from MWR's New England Regional Office right here in Southern New Hampshire. Before we get started tonight, I just want to remind everyone that this session is for the education and training of our marketing directors and members and is not intended for distribution to the public. Reproduction of all or any portion of tonight's session is strictly prohibited. We will be discussing information regarding our memberships, our leasing programs, our Fundability 360 program, as well as our rewards and revenue sharing plan. Please be aware that any projections or testimonials shared this evening are for illustration purposes and are not intended to serve as a guarantee results. For more information, please visit mwrfinancial.com. Hey, before we bring up our MC for the evening, I just want to remind everyone tonight's session is going to be very special. We're going to debut some new stuff tonight, as well as we're going to cover the do's and don'ts and options of Fundable 360. So send out those last second text messages, send out those telegrams and those Facebook messengers, however it is that you communicate with your organization. Get them on tonight's live, because tonight you're going to hear it from the horse's mouth. And speaking of which, let's bring on tonight's special MC. This gentleman is a serial entrepreneur. He and I have worked together off and on since June of 2005, which makes this month our 20th anniversary of working together. And it's funny, I was trying to find a picture of him, and I found a picture, well, from 20 years ago. And you know what? He hasn't aged a bit. He's wiser and a little more aggressive than he used to be. But I'll tell you, this gentleman, not only is this someone that I would trust with my kids and, well, these days, my grandkids, I would also trust him with my precious metals. Up until now, everything he has touched has turned to gold, but now it's all turning to silver. We don't call him King Midas, we call him King Argentum, which is where the AG on the periodic table comes from. A little Latin education for everybody tonight. Please welcome our CEO, founder, your friend and mine. And by the way, he's a scratch golfer, I hear, if not maybe a little bit under par. The one and only Mr. Brian House. Brian, how are you, buddy? Turn your camera on. I hope I made you turn pink there a little bit. How's it going?
Oh my gosh, Mike, I'm telling you that introduction. I wish you quit telling people that you've known me for 20 years. It makes us sound old. You know it.
Guess what, Brian?
Hey, don't say it. Yeah, I don't. I don't want to be told I'm old. Listen,
I
I
am. I
do want to
am.
say
You're
this.
not, but I'm old.
You're not. You're not. Hey, I do want to say this, and you kind of mentioned it, guys. I will tell you this tonight. You definitely want to make sure send those last minute texts. Like Mike said, communicate with your team. You want to get everybody on this live. Like Mike said, we're going to be unveiling some things that we're working on right this second that you guys kind of get a sneak peek of. But we're also going to be covering some very, very important information, especially in regards to the different options when it comes to MWR Fundable 360. And I've got something that I'm going to tell you about that maybe I'm not going to tell you about. I don't know, but I'm gonna give you a clue on something that may be happening next week that you need to pay very close attention to one of our communication platforms, which is Telegram. Okay, if you are not on Telegram, if you're not your team's not on Telegram, get them on by going to mwrtelegram.com. So if you've not joined our Telegram group, get your team on there, make sure you're on there, make sure everybody's on there, because that's in MWR. This is for MWR members or qualified marketing directors or marketing directors only to be on Telegram. But I highly recommend you send those last minute texts. I see we've got a lot of people coming in right now. I know we've got some other things happening tonight as well with different teams throughout MWR, but this is not the one you want to miss, okay? Because we're going to fill in some blanks tonight. We're going to actually answer some questions. We're going to talk about some things, some options that you have with MWR Fundable 360. But then we're also going to talk about how MWR Fundable 360 applies to those of you that are looking to use MWR Fundable 360 or business funding, business credit and funding, in order to be able to purchase precious metals. There is a difference between an outside business, somebody that's not in MWR that participates, and then there are those of you that are qualified marketing directors that are in MWR that are going to be using your funding in order to participate in precious metals and our leasing platform that will be introduced here before long. And so there's a different process for that. And I want to make sure that we provide total transparency and a ton of clarity tonight. I want to make sure there are no questions, that you know exactly what path to go. I know, I have a good friend of ours, Mike, that used to say people don't want to know how to do something, they want to know exactly how to do something. And I'm a big believer in that. And so we want to make sure you know exactly what to do. Okay. And so definitely get your teams on, get everybody you can on. I promise you, you'll be glad you did. So with that, Mike, I don't see you. Where are you at? I don't see your picture.
I'm
There
right
you are.
here.
All right. Okay. You were kind of hiding
Some
in
of
the
our
background
one
there.
of our guests is having a challenge getting in.
I
Maybe he's on
understand.
now. So
Okay.
he's on. I was doing a little coaching on the side.
Uh-huh. Okay. I
So
appreciate
we're all
I
set.
appreciate
We're
it.
all set. He's here. So
All right. Well, listen, before we get into everything, I kind of mentioned on Telegram just a few minutes ago. Heck, nobody's even had a chance to probably look at it yet. That we're going to be kind of going through what we're working on as far as a new presentation. And I know you're going to run through that. I'm going to do the slides, so I hope I don't mess it up for you. But at the same time, I want everybody to know this is a rough draft. This is not what it's going to look like. You know, when we put out something, it's extremely professional, very well done. People are saying they can't get on the live. Is there a reason for that, Mike?
I'm not sure. I know that one of our guests was having a challenge. We have folks jumping in. I'm wondering if Zoom might be having a little bit of a challenge tonight.
I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know. But I mean, link worked for me. I'm going to go to MWRexperts.com just to check it real quick. So guys, bear with me. I'm going to play
I'm
technical.
Yeah, I'm logged in there as well. Brian, on my phone. It's working fine.
Okay. It says join a meeting and all right. Okay, I'm going to cancel this. Okay, so seems to be working for me. So I don't know why anybody would have a challenge, but and it looks like more people are rolling in right now to be able to get on. So Mike, here's what I'm going to do, guys. We're gonna go through a quick presentation, okay? And again, this is a rough draft, but what I want you to listen to is the messaging. I'm not so worried about you seeing the slides and the, Mike did a great job of just putting something generic together today in order to be able to have some slides to go with this. But I want you to listen to the messaging behind this. And Mike's going to do this. He's going to actually go through and read the scripting that we have in place, which this will work twofold. It will actually serve as a PowerPoint that we will have, obviously, and then it will also work as a video presentation. And again, don't pay so much attention to the graphics as much as you do the wording. And so, Mike, I'd say we go ahead and start with that real quick. And then what I want to do is I want to bring up our guest, our MWR Fundable 360 expert, Mr. Butch Chalaya. And him and I are going to have a conversation along with you, Mike. You're more than welcome to to chime in there. But I'm going to cover some things up front, and then I'm going to get Butch's feedback on it and his input in regards to questions that have been asked by the field. And so we can make sure we address these specific things in regards to the different options when it comes to MWR Fundable 360 and how those apply to MWR members or directors that are participating in precious metals compared to outside businesses. Okay. And so, Mike, I don't know if you're getting messages. I'm still getting messages of people saying they're having trouble getting on. Don't know why that
I
is.
see. I see people coming on. It's happening in little spits and sputs.
Yeah.
Anybody out there that is got their teammates having trouble? We are recording this. It will get posted to the aforementioned Telegram as soon as we're done here. So
Yes.
let's rock and roll, Brian.
All right, sounds good. Let's do it. And I appreciate you mentioning that as well. So with that, I'm going to share my screen, Mike, or I'm going to try to do this. I am not the big tech guy when it comes to all of this. I'm going to play in Damo where I'm a low tech guy in a high tech world. And so let me see if I can get this up. Do you see my screen, Mike?
I see your screen. We're
All
not in
right.
presentation mode yet, but I see it.
Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and put it in presentation mode here. So we will do that from the beginning. All right, Mike, I'm going to let you run with it, buddy.
All right, I went ahead and turned your camera off, Brian, just so you know, so you don't block
Perfect.
any of the screen.
Perfect.
All right. Well, nothing to say on this first slide. So go ahead and go to the actual first slide and we'll get started. Welcome.
Okay.
Have you ever wondered how some people make a lot of money and still have time to do whatever they want? How different would your life be if you could use a system like they do or the bank's money to make money for you instead of having to work so hard? Would you quit your job, travel the world, spend more time with the ones you love? Or maybe buy that new car or home that you've always wanted? These are the things that most people dream about. But unfortunately, like the saying goes, it takes money to make money. And the same tools or strategies wealthy people use to make this happen aren't easy to access for people who don't already have hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars. That is, until now. Welcome to Make Wealth Real, the first and only lifestyle and legacy company of its kind. MWR is an 8-year-old, multi-million dollar debt-free company with one mission: to eliminate the wealth gap and help everyday people experience true time and financial freedom. Our vision is to create more millionaires than any other company in history. We do this by giving you access to the same systems, strategies, and experts previously reserved only for the wealthy. With MWR, you can now access unsecured business funding to purchase real income producing assets that earn you passive income through our exclusive leasing programs and more, all without risking your personal assets, credit, or even using your own money. We can sum it all up with a quote from our founder and CEO. It takes money to make money work for you, but it doesn't have to be your money. Here's what you need to know. While everyone's distracted by AI technology and the healthcare booms, finance quietly dominates, making up over 30% of the global economy. That's $36 trillion today, projected to hit nearly 50 trillion in just 5 years. That is exactly why MWR has created a risk-free way for you to tap into this massive market and accumulate millions in assets without using your money. And we've combined this with the opportunity for you to build a 6 or 7-figure residual income by simply sharing this concept with others. And we've simplified it into 3 powerful steps. Step 1, use the bank's money instead of yours. With MWR Fundable 360, we can assist you or any business in getting a minimum of $50,000 in ongoing unsecured business funding with no personal credit, income, or collateral needed to qualify. Don't have a business yet? No problem. MWR has the perfect business with you, along with a team of experts to support you every step of the way. Step two, purchase income producing assets that appreciate in value. With MWR Precious Metals, you can purchase, securely store, and generate passive monthly leasing income from precious metals such as silver, gold, platinum, and more, while also being able to take advantage of their appreciation. Step three, share the good news. As an MWR marketing director, you can also generate multiple streams of immediate and residual income by simply sharing MWR and MWR Fundable 360 with others, while your assets continue to grow, appreciate, and produce passive monthly income for you at the same time. Let's look at how all of this works together to create the income you need to support your current lifestyle, as well as your future lifestyle and legacy in months or years instead of decades or never. In this example, you'll use MWR's Fundable 360 to borrow $50,000 from the bank. Using the current average interest rate of 8% per year, this makes the cost of funds $333.33 per month. Next, we'll use the $50,000 to purchase silver through MWR's Precious Metals, who also store and protect your metals in their licensed and insured precious metals depository. You can lease your metals through our exclusive leasing program, earning a nominal 1.5% or $750 per month. After covering the cost of funds, this gives you a net profit of $416.67 per month to cover expenses and purchase additional silver. You'll then repeat this pattern over a 5-year period, borrowing an additional $50,000 or more each year, using that towards that and your net profits to purchase additional silver. This alone would accumulate over $345,000 in silver. However, this amount does not account for asset appreciation, which not only increases the value of your holdings, but can also increase your monthly income and profits from future leases, allowing you to purchase even more silver. According to experts, over the next 5 years, silver is expected to appreciate at an annual rate of between 17 and 60%. However, if we just use the appreciation rate from the past 5 years of only 13%, your total holdings will increase in this example to over $512,000. This strategy is one of the most important tools that the wealthy use to build long-term wealth and passive income in months or years instead of decades. However, as an MWR qualified marketing director or QMD, you have an additional strategy available to build immediate and ongoing residual income just by sharing these concepts with others. And we don't mean you have to share this with thousands or even hundreds of people. If you shared this with just 12 people that only shared it with 6, who only shared it with 3, and so on, you would build a referral network of 1,164 people, which would earn you $12,000 a month in residual income through our revenue sharing plan, increasing your passive and residual total to over $16,000 per month. It's important to note that we've just shown you an example for example purposes only. Past performance does not guarantee future results, and your results may vary. However, the figures used in this example are extremely conservative based on past and current results, rates, and future industry expert predictions. And just like everything these days, we encourage you to verify this for yourself online to see just how conservative these numbers are. This is why the name of our company is Make Wealth Real, because that's exactly what we do. This is also why we believe MWR is the perfect business. Think about it. How many people do you know that would like a risk-free way to accumulate millions in income-producing assets without having to use their own money? The answer should be everyone. And by simply referring them to MWR and MWR Fundable 360, you can help them make this dream a reality. MWR's revenue sharing plan makes this possible by having one of the highest payout and retention percentages in the industry. And because we pay daily and weekly, this allows you and everyone you refer to start earning right now money to pay those right now bills without having to wait. Here's how it works. When you or your team refer others to MWR as QMDs or customers, you can earn from $5 to up to $15,000 per day in luxury residual income. Money that comes in day after day for something you and your team did just one time. That's up to $450,000 per month or over $5 million per year. In addition, as you advance through our ranks, you can also earn weekly lifestyle bonuses, legacy bonuses, and up to $1,500 in momentum bonuses just for getting your business off to a fast start. But it doesn't stop there. With the addition of MWR Fundable 360, you now have two businesses in one. For any of your referred businesses that enroll in MWR Fundable 360 Business Funding Program, including your own business, you will earn a $400 referral bonus. You can also receive 25% matching bonuses for enrolled businesses referred by any of your personally enrolled QMDs or other businesses, plus an additional $30 up to $150 in legacy bonuses for any enrolled businesses throughout your entire organization. You and your team refer, our experts do the work, and you get paid. It's that easy. Now that we've shown you how to make more money and how we can make your money and the bank's money work for you, our final goal is to help you keep more of the money you make. This is another one of the added benefits of having an MWR lifestyle and legacy membership. This membership gives you the ability to participate in MWR's precious metals and leasing, but it also provides you with access to a dedicated team of financial experts who will advise, assist, or perform the work necessary to help you eliminate your debts, reduce your taxes, lower your monthly bills, restore or enhance your personal credit, and save you money on your everyday purchases, allowing you to do more of the things you love with your money instead of giving it to the government, banks, and big business. In fact, this incredible membership has saved our members an average of over $2,000 per month, providing them with even more cash flow to accelerate their success. At this point, you're probably thinking all of this is going to cost you hundreds or even thousands of dollars, and it would be worth every penny. But believe it or not, you can get started with MWR's Lifestyle and Legacy membership for just $149.97 per month with no contracts, no setup fees, and your spouse is included for free. Or for an additional $100 one time, you can become an MWR QMD. This allows you to own your own MWR business where you can earn all of the income streams that we just discussed and a whole lot more just by referring others to our membership and MWR Fundable 360 services. And to make your decision even easier, MWR and MWR Fundable 360 will guarantee your success. You heard me right. If our experts, strategies, and/or opportunity cannot help you save or make more money than the cost of your enrollment in your first 30 days, we will give you a full refund. Plus, if any business you refer, including your own, does not qualify for at least $50,000 in ongoing unsecured business funding by following the guidance and assistance of our business credit and funding experts, MWR Fundable 360 will enroll your enrollment fee as well. This means that the only way you can lose is simply by choosing not to participate. Now that you know how MWR can make wealth real for you too, there's only one thing left to do. Get back to the MWR director that referred you to this presentation to get all of your questions answered, and let them know whether you want just some or all of what MWR has to offer. The lifestyle you want is waiting, and every minute you delay could cost you precious time and money that you will never get back. Thank you for your time, and let me be the first to welcome you to the Make Wealth Real family, where lifestyle and legacy connect. Woohoo!
Wow, great job, Mike.
Oh, I made five little boo-boos.
Yeah, no, hey, that
But
was about 13 minutes long. So it very well done. So appreciate it. And
don't forget
guys,
to
I
put
hope
your
you
camera
all,
back on, Brian.
yeah, let me do that.
Yeah.
Guys, I hope you all appreciated that as well. One of the things I want to point out about this presentation, real quick, is again, don't pay attention to the graphics. Okay. Wanted you to hear the messaging. And what I love about the messaging that we just shared is that it covers every piece of MWR, and it highlights the things that what I believe, and I think most of you believe based on what I'm seeing, uh, the things that we feel are extremely important, the things that are going to help people want to get engaged. I mean, think about it. We're leading a lot with MWR Fundable 360, the ability to be able to use the bank's money to be able to purchase an income producing asset that you can earn monthly returns off of that will pay back the banks while still being able to support your current and future lifestyle. I don't know about you, and it's all passive with no risk. I don't know about you, but that is extremely appealing because the goal for most people in life is to get to a point to where they have time and financial freedom. And typically, the only way that's going to work for you is if you build a business that has a residual income or that other people are actually doing the work so you can enjoy your life and still get paid, or you actually have a passive income through investments. You guys have all seen Robert Kiyosaki's cash flow quadrant, okay? To where you can be an employee, you can be self-employed, you can be a business owner and an investor on the right side. Everybody wants to be on the right side. What I love about MWR is that's where we start people at. Most people, it takes a long time to get to the I quadrant, to get to the investor portion. We can start people at the investor portion and allow them to build a business off of that. I don't know about you guys, but that excites the heck out of me. And as far as I know, we're the first company in history that has ever put that scenario in place. And the only way it was possible is because of the fact that, like I said in my statement on the presentation, and my quote, it takes money to make money work for you, but it doesn't have to be your money. And I will tell you this right now, at no point would we have ever introduced business funding unless we knew we could partner with somebody we trusted, unless we partnered with somebody that we knew was going to do the right thing by our members, because there are a lot of predatory companies out there. And it's not to speak bad about them, okay? It's just a fact that they charge outrageous interest rates. They charge huge upfront fees. They take advantages of businesses that are struggling. And in a lot of cases, they cause them more challenges than they do them good. Okay. And that's not what we wanted. And so the only way we would have ever introduced business funding is one for the reasons that I just mentioned. But the other thing is, we would have to have something, some type of vehicle, a savings or I don't want to say an investment vehicle, I want to say an asset that you could utilize those funds to be able to purchase that would produce higher returns through appreciation and leasing than what the cost of those funds cost. Okay. And That's what made this all viable. That's what made it a reality for us. And we're extremely blessed that, and I'm a big, you guys know, I'm a big believer in divine intervention. I believe God has his hands on what we're doing, and I respect everyone's faith, including my own. But I will say this, for all of these relationships to come together to create this perfect scenario, uh, it's just amazing to me. It's amazing. And what we're going to be able to do to have a major, major impact on tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of people's lives. I can tell you, I'm excited about the money. I'm more excited about the people that we're going to set financially free. Okay. Without them having to work their fingers to the bone, without them having to work 12, 14, 16 hours a day in order to make it happen. The message that we have is too appealing not to share, and it's too appealing not to act on if you help somebody understand it. I think this presentation will do that. I believe it's going to deliver the message in a way that touches on every aspect of MWR and the power of what we have to offer. Okay. And so I hope you guys are excited about it. Didn't mean to go on that long tirade, but I do want to get to the next portion of our live tonight. And to help me do that, I'm going to bring on uh, our MWR Fundable 360 expert. I'm going to tell you, I love this guy to death. Just the conversations I've had with him, he is always so positive, so upbeat. He's always got encouraging answers. I know they had a leadership call the other day that I was not able to be on because of meetings I had that I wasn't able to attend. But his willingness to be able to address any type of question that comes to him, good, bad, indifferent, doesn't matter. He wants everybody to be able to have the answers just like we do. And so tonight we're gonna do something a little different. We're gonna show a little bit. Uh, I don't want to say different. What we're gonna do is we're gonna be extremely transparent. Okay. And Butch, before I bring you up, I'm
Yeah.
gonna kind of set the stage here real quick. Okay. Uh, because I know since last week's call, which we're so excited for Patricia Bruce and her getting her funding already, and everybody was asking, how did Patricia do that in 30 days? And because the process, it is a process, guys. And I'm going to explain the two different processes to you. And then Butch, feel free to correct me,
Of
okay,
course.
if I make any mistakes. But we have a set of people that are in MWR that are qualified marketing directors, or maybe they're just members that choose to participate in MWR Fundable 360 because they want to use the bank's money to be able to buy precious metals. Okay. Now, our recommendation at MWR has been, guys, go through the process, listen to the concierge, do what the concierge are telling you, follow it every step of the way, and then they're going to help you obtain funding as quickly as possible. And it's guaranteed. So you're going to get your $50,000 or more, depending on where you start at, but minimum of $50,000 guaranteed, unsecured business funding, no personal credit, no collateral needed, none of that stuff. Okay. But you've got to go through the process. Okay. And you've got to pay attention. You've got to listen, and you've got to implement what they're telling you to implement, which are all simple steps to implement. Okay. And they're going to help you with that. Now, that's one thing. We recommend that because it's unsecured business funding. It's all based on your EIN. There's no personal credit, no personal collateral, any of that stuff that you're able to get at a low rate of anywhere. Typically, rates are running for business lines of credit, Butch, right now between 7 and 9.5%. So we're just using a rate of 8% as an example, like when you see our example. And that is for example purposes only. That could vary. But with doing that, then you're able to participate and purchase precious metals when we give you the green light. We don't want you spending your funding right away on precious metals until the leasing contracts are available. When you can enter into those, you want to purchase your precious metal. We'll give you plenty of notice. You'll want to purchase your precious metals in advance, hold your funding until then. Okay. Now, that's an MWR member that wants to use their funding to purchase precious metals to participate in leasing contracts. That's what they want to do. Okay. But there are other options. Outside businesses that you refer, even some of you in MWR that own businesses that you're going to use this funding for other purposes other than precious metals, okay, and leasing, there are other options available to you. There are things that you can do that actually it can expedite the process, okay, in some cases. Maybe you tie your personal credit to it. Maybe you end up putting up some type of collateral. Maybe you end up stacking, which we can explain that a little bit. Maybe you decide to do stacking. Those things may be able to expedite that process for you. And it may happen in 2 weeks, 30 days, 60 days, okay, instead of it taking longer, okay, to do that. That's okay. But I want you to understand there are additional fees that go along with that over and above your initial fee to get started with MWR Fundable 360. Okay, there are percentage based fees that can go along with some of that. There are fees in regards to things you have to do for stacking and stuff like that. And I want you to realize that. But that's not the option we're promoting inside of MWR for people that want to do it for precious metals. Do I think those things are advantageous for outside businesses? Absolutely. Because I will tell you, a lot of businesses are in cash flow crunches. Maybe they're trying to make payroll this week and they need to get funds now. Okay. Well, when you expedite the process, you pay to expedite the process. Okay. Or you're patient and you go through the process that we're talking about. But there's nothing wrong with doing that if you need that cash flow to expand your business. Maybe it's an outside business outside of MWR. Maybe you own a business that's not just your MWR business that you need cash for, and you need it now or you need it quickly. There are options available for you, okay, with MWR Fundable 360. That's why we've made this marketable, not just to our members and QMDs, it's to where you can share it with businesses and they're still going to get better service, better fees, everything than most of the companies that I see out there right now. Okay. As far as the MCA type loans and things like that, Butch, you're very familiar with them. Some of them are, I consider them to be loan sharking almost, you know, and that's not what we're saying to do here. So with that, I wanted to cover the two different scenarios. You're in MWR, you're going to use this for your funding for precious metals and leasing. You want to mitigate or eliminate as many fees as you possibly can and go through the process to get unsecured business funding at normal bank rates, and so that you are maximizing your returns, okay, on your precious metals without having most of your money going to pay back funding, okay? Outside of MWR or any other business, there are tons of options, which is great for you because that makes what you're doing even that much more marketable, not just to consumers, but also to businesses. Okay. And so, Butch, I hope I covered that well. Is there anything I messed up on? So,
No, absolutely, Brian. You did a great job. I really feel like I could duplicate you and take you on tour with me, and I don't have to be in half the cities.
well, thanks. Thanks. Well, I'm not doing it, Butch. I've got a plate full right now. So, but anytime I can help, I'll be happy to, buddy. But I'm
Absolutely.
glad. I'm glad that you're in agreement with that. I know that people have questions about this. I know you guys did the leadership call the other day, which I greatly
Sure.
appreciate you taking the time to do that. And this was very helpful. I mean, the questions that you answered, one, we deal a lot with the leadership before we bring it to the field, because we want the leadership to be able to relay this message to you. So because you guys have a relationship with them, and you trust them and you understand, and hopefully you trust us too. But at the same time, we're trying to be as transparent and get as much of this out there as possible. We're really, Butch, we're what, 35 days into this right now?
Right.
40 days, something like that. So this is such a baby. It's so new. You see us doing these lives every Thursday because we're trying to feed you as much information as we can so that there's no reservations. If there's one thing I can tell you, I don't want you to have any reservations about participating in this program. And I think the best way to do that is providing you with information and the do's and the don'ts, okay? So that you do things the correct way. I'm going to make one more point, though, Butch, and everybody needs to hear this, okay? If you're an MWR, and I know how reps can be, or marketing directors can be in MWR, they can be very anxious and they want things right now. Okay. And so I will tell you, the concierge, if you push them and you're saying, well, how can I get this as quickly as possible? Or what do I got to do to accelerate this process? Or what do I got to do to speed this up? If you're doing that, they are trained to provide you with options that will accelerate the process. I'm telling you, if you want to do it without having to pay additional fees, just go through the process. Do not try to push them and accelerate it, because they are trained to provide businesses, which is what you are when you're scheduling an appointment with them. They're trained to provide businesses with what they need when they need it. So if you're trying to push them, you're going to get options. And if you take those options without being patient, then that's on you. Okay? That's on you. And I want you to know that. And it doesn't mean maybe you have a reason that you need it. That's okay too. But at the same time, I just want to make that very clear, Butch, that your people do a phenomenal job. I mean, the feedback I've heard about the consultations and with the concierge, I mean, they're top notch. They're top notch. And I mean, they are as helpful as they can possibly be, trying to relay the correct information. But am I wrong in saying that they're trained to facilitate trying to help that client, that business client, with what they need and the urgency they have for it? Is that correct?
Absolutely. We're trained to give people what they want and what they ask for.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
And if you push them, they're going to go that direction. Am I right?
100%. So, we're dealing with a plethora of businesses from all channels, right? So you're dealing with dentists, you're dealing with roofing contractors, and then, you're dealing with independent business owners like MWR community. So when we're getting on the one phone call to the next phone call to the next phone call, and we end up with an MWR representative who says, hey, I need that 50 grand as quickly as possible, then the concierge team is programmed to provide the same solution and urgency as the dentist a half hour ago who says, I need 50 grand to float payroll by Friday.
Yes.
And
Exactly.
so we don't treat it any different in terms of our solution advice. And that could not be consistent sometimes with what the end goal is for what we're doing in MWR.
Right.
So you said it perfectly a second ago, and I'll preface this with this. The methodical process that MWR Fundable 360 offers does a few things that we never want to lose sight of. And that is, everyone is going to succeed. 100% of the people that enroll are going to go through the journey and come out better on the other side, having met their expectations. Now, even though the destinations might look similar for everybody, the journey is different for almost everyone.
Right.
right? Some people might be more structured, some people might need some help with structuring, some people might be more organized, some people respond faster, some people we can't get a hold of for 4.5 weeks. So the journey is going to look different for everyone, but if you stay the course and you trust the process and you be communicative, the end result is 100% of the people are going to come out winning in this program.
Yes. I love it. I love it, Butch. That's awesome. And that right there, that one statement, Butch, is, and I will say this, there are little things that are going to happen through this process, especially if you're brand new to a business. Okay. You just started a business. You're not even established. And we're talking about no personal credit, no income, no collateral, none of those. You don't have any of those things to begin with. Okay. As a brand new business. So you have to structure yourself, and the concierges are walking you through this
Right.
exactly what to do in order to establish yourself as a legitimate business for funding. Okay. And I will say this because of the last statement you made, where 100% of people will obtain funding if they do what the concierge say. Okay. 100%. I want you to hear what Butch said. It's
Yeah.
not some will, some won't, none of that. 100% if they follow the guidance. Now, here's what I'm going to tell you. If you had to set up a bank account for your business, I get it. Some of you are W-2 employees. You've never owned a business. MWR is your first experience in business. Okay. And you're thinking, well, that just sounds too complicated. It's not. You can go to your bank and you can set up a business account, put 50 bucks in it or 20 bucks in it. You got a business account. Start running money through it. Start running your MWR commissions through it. Okay. To start establishing that account. I think that's a great idea. Okay. But at the same time, I don't care what barbed wire or broken glass you have to crawl through. If you just saw the numbers that Mike presented on that presentation, okay, for our illustrator, if you saw those numbers, 50,000, 1.5% in leasing returns, 13% in appreciation, which is should really be 17 to 16% over the next 5 years. But if you saw those numbers and what it can produce for you, is it that big of a deal to set up a bank account? Is it that big of a deal to actually get a few trade lines that you need to use instead of buying your gas with your debit card? Now you're buying your gas with a trade line for your business. And instead of buying, pins or whatever for your house or whatever it is, just anything, you're using the trade lines. And then if you were paying it out of your personal account, pay it off with that. Okay. But use those things. That's not extra money you're spending. That's money that you were going to spend anyway. You're just using a different tool to spend it with, but you're using the same funds that you were going to pay it with in the first place. I hope that makes sense, Butch. And but
100%.
all
Yeah.
these little things, it kills me sometimes, Butch. But and I got to understand what we're dealing with sometimes because a lot of the people in MWR, this is their first business. This is
Yeah.
their first business, and so we've got to.
How
I've been in
how
business
how
for
how
30 plus years.
how lucky are they, right?
Oh
That
my
this is their
gosh,
first
that this is
business.
your first. Are you
Yeah.
kidding me? Yeah, I wish this was my first.
Me
Okay.
too. Me
But
too.
yeah, but at the same time, we got to realize that. And it's our responsibility sometimes to tell you what you need to hear, not just what you want to hear. Because believe me, trust me when I say this, we've been around for 8 years now. Okay. And when I say we need to tell you what you need to hear instead of just what you want to hear, I hope you trust our transparency and understand that we have your best interest at heart. We're not going to steer you wrong. It would be shooting ourselves in the foot that what company in this industry wants to steer its members wrong? Because I promise you, if we steer you wrong, you'll go tell 50 people about it. If we steer you right, I'm hoping you go tell 10, 15, or 20 people about it. Okay. But we know that negative travels a lot faster than positive. It's unfortunate, but it's a reality. Okay. And we don't want to create any negative. We want to make sure you understand and that we're extremely transparent and that you guys do the right thing to get the results that we're talking about. What we're promising, we want to make sure we fulfill that, but you're a participant in the process. Okay. We can't do it all for you. We do a lot, but we can't do it all for you. There's some steps you're going to have to complete as well. And so with that, Butch, you got anything you want to add
I
to
do.
this? I wanted to make sure we address this tonight.
So number one, I always have something I want to add because I love this organization and it drives me to be a better company myself, right? So, we're not, I tell everybody that I meet with, and I've had a chance now to work with different leadership groups within MWR, and I've spoken to a lot of their conferences. I always tell them, we're not a service provider, we're not a vendor, we are MWR, right? We're intrinsically committed to this relationship because we see the good of what everybody's doing. And Brian, I'll tell you where this comes from. I've spoken to every of the leadership council individually and collectively. 100% of their conversations with me is never about them. It's about their stewardship to their community. That just speaks volumes to the kind of leadership we have within the MWR organization. Whether I'm speaking with Cyranos, or I don't want to name names, but Gerald, or
Charles
Charles,
and Trevor
or
and Shirley and
Coach T. I
yeah,
mean,
and
all of them.
Sean Hill and all of them. Yeah.
100% of the
Robbie,
conversations, 100% of the conversations they have with me, even in their efforts to understand our process and our systems and our company and the work we do at MWR Fundable 360, is never about how this benefits them. It's about how this serves the need to the newest member to their oldest member, right? And that just speaks volumes, but it makes us want to be a better company. Here's how I would summarize everyone to maybe have an appreciation of what is happening in front of them. Everything in business today, banking, funding, and everything else, much like everything in life, is algorithm driven. What we do at MWR Fundable 360 is we have cracked the code on how to manipulate and manufacture the algorithm to produce the result we want. That's why we are guaranteeing success, because we've already seen all the little markers along this treasure map, and we know which tree we have to work around, which rock we have to move, which little hole we have to dig, how we have to sidestep, what fire pit we have to avoid, and how we get to the island paradise. We know that. So that being said, and you're absolutely right, if we knew 100% of the result was going to be success, then the algorithm is going to dictate the path of where we go, the journey of where we take, which rock we'd have to look under. When I say rock, I mean opening a business account and a trade line. All that feeds the algorithm. So now we have success that is score driven and not performance driven. That's why at the end of the day, they're not asking for balance sheets, P&Ls, and profit and loss statements, because it doesn't matter. That measures performance. At the end of the day, if your score is high enough, no one cares how you got there. Brian, you're a golfer. When you get into the clubhouse and you post a 6 under, no one's looking to see where the birdies were, where the bogeys were, where the pars were. All they know is that score. We live in a score-driven world. What Fundable 360 does is we've figured out how to crack the code, and we're bringing that to the community of MWR. And that's what I said. If this is their first business, then God was really looking out for them, because they never have to go to a second one. This is where they're going to live the legacy.
Yeah, relating back to golf, Butch, I'll tell you this: we have a saying. There's no pictures on the scorecard.
Right.
Okay, so
It's a
nobody knows how
scorecard.
you
No,
got that par or that
right.
birdie. They just know you got that par or that birdie. I could have shanked one into the woods and then pulled off a great next shot that ended up saving par, but they didn't see the shank. It didn't matter, you
Didn't
know.
matter. It's a
So
scorecard, not a postcard.
that's right. That's right.
Right.
But listen, I appreciate you being on here tonight. I know we're approaching an hour. I'm going to say this. We've got a lot happening behind the scenes. And I keep saying this, and you guys can look at me. I got bags under my eyes. So a lot of reading, a lot of stuff that we're doing as far as contracting and stuff that we've got to get in place, and legal and everything else. But it's all going extremely well. And so I'm excited about that. But I'm going to tell you this. You want to get your funding in place as quickly as possible without pushing them. That means get started as quickly as possible.
Right.
And I know there's a price tag that goes with funding. Lowest price I've ever seen, especially a flat rate fee in order to be able to participate with what a guaranteed funding program,
Right.
credit and funding. Butch, we don't even give enough credit to credit and funding, business credit and funding. Okay.
Right.
So again, this is taking you from zero to hero. Okay. Here's what I'm going to tell you. Leasing is going to happen. Okay. Precious metals leasing is going to happen. Whether that happens in September or October, it's going to happen. We know it's a process that you have to go through to get your funding. We also know that there is a fee to participate in funding. And some of you, maybe you're cash strapped. Maybe you don't have it on a credit card. Maybe you don't have the ability to participate right now. Utilize what you have inside of MWR and the ability to share MWR and MWR Fundable 360 to earn your way into participation with MWR Fundable 360. You can make the money you need through our revenue sharing plan by sharing MWR. You can make the money you need by sharing MWR Fundable 360. You can keep more of the money you're already making by utilizing our experts inside your membership to reduce your taxes, to eliminate your debts, to lower your monthly bills, to restore or enhance your credit, to save you money on the things you're spending money on every day. Those features are there. So we've eliminated any roadblocks or obstacles that will keep you from what we're trying to create here as far as the level of prosperity that you're wanting to achieve. You have everything you need. Okay, you have everything you need and a whole team of experts working on your behalf. Take advantage of it. Don't sit around and procrastinate. You don't want to see leasing come out and everybody on your team is participating except for you because you sat back and waited to get started. Take advantage of everything you have in this membership. It's there for you to win, period. You cannot lose. You just have to participate. You have to plug in. And so I'm going to end it with that, Butch. And again, I appreciate you being on here. Guys, pay close attention to Telegram. You're getting ready to potentially see an announcement come out here at the beginning of the week that you guys are going to love. I would get after it this weekend because this announcement that I could potentially make, okay, and I'm going to put something on Telegram that's going to require your participation in order for me to make the announcement, okay? So again, make sure you're plugged into MWRtelegram.com. Let's go have a great rest of the week. Have a great weekend, guys. I'm going to celebrate my daughter's graduation tomorrow, Butch. So we're having a big party for her at our country club. But guys, have a great weekend and let's go knock it out of the park. Okay, let's go make a difference in somebody else's life because I can tell you, when you make a difference in somebody else's life in MWR, it makes a difference in your life, not just financially, not just financially. It'll do that too, but the impact that you can have on other people's lives, there's no better feeling than knowing you have a guaranteed way for people to be able to acquire millions of dollars in income producing assets without using their own money, and a team of experts that will help them create the money they need to be able to participate. With that, I'm going to say good night. Butch, appreciate you a bunch. Thank you, Mike. Thank you so much tonight. And guys, have a great rest of the weekend. Have a great night. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.